Hi, welcoming you to Cardio Flow for Waldenstroms. I'm here with a nice sized group of folks from all over the world, and some of you are telling me you're feeling a little blah or under the weather today. So if that's you, my friends, please know you can tailor this practice to however you're feeling. If something is not making you feel better, but it is making you feel worse, I suggest you stop doing it and maybe just sit and breathe, listen and look, and do the movement in your mind instead. And that can be sort of a form of meditation. So today's class is Cardio Flow. We are looking to beat our fatigue in this class by doing a little bit of movement in a lot of places. Moving the lymph fluid, getting the blood flow moving, improving our balance and mobility, and just having a good time moving. That's basically my theme for our class today, is a little bit of movement in a lot of places and see if we can get that energy flowing. So let's start with the best thing I know how to support energetic flow, and that is, you guessed it, breathing. So we're going to start by warming up the body with some breath work. So I'm going to come to a posture that allows me to take a nice deep breath. That means I'm sitting upright. That means my chest is open. Maybe I want to lift my shoulders up, back and down a couple times. And of course, I want you to make yourself as comfortable as you possibly can during our session. So if something doesn't feel comfortable for you, please change it so that it does. I'm going to be inhaling through my nose, and today I'm exhaling through my mouth. I'm breathing in through the nose and sighing it out my mouth. I might even make a little noise if I wanted to. Breathing in, breathing out. Getting warmed up from the inside with my breath. Now I might take some breaths in and out of the nose. Breathing in, breathing out. And as I do this, I'm going to let my shoulders take a break, relax a little bit. Take a few more breaths and allow yourself a little bit of time to arrive so you can feel your feet on the ground and your seat in the chair. We want to start any movement practice with a little bit of grounded awareness of how we actually are feeling, so that we can make wise decisions as we move throughout the rest of our session. So let's take 3 more breaths together and just assess your energy levels, assess your state of being. And then you're welcome to open the eyes if you have them closed. So here I am, ready to get flowing in our cardio flow class. And one little movement I feel that can bring energy into the body right away is a little bit of backward bending of the spine. So I'm so glad you wrote that into the chat, Anne. I'm going to bring my arms back behind me, and I'll lift my heart a little bit. So I'm lifting that heart, I'm arching the back, and I might even be a candidate for spinal extension versus rounding the back. And then I'll bring my arms forward and just interlace my fingers, pull the arms away from the body, so I'm creating some space in my upper back where I hold a lot of tension. I'm inhaling, opening, arching my back, undoing that rounded posture, and then interlacing my fingers, pulling the arms away. Kind of the only things moving are the shoulder blades. Let's take that one more big breath. And exhaling out, nose or mouth. Beautiful. And then I'm going to press my palms away and juice up my fingers. And then I might go ahead and make a fist and take some knocks. So I'm juicing up my wrists. A little bit of movement in a lot of places means every joint in the body. I hope we're going to be moving every joint in the body. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and just bring my hands down into my lap for a moment and work with my head and my neck. I see some of you might have more energy and want to stand, and that would be completely fine as well. And when we move to our standing portion, you might want to stay seated. Lots of options. So I'm just going to be moving my head from side to side. And I'm breathing as I do this, tilting the ear towards the shoulder. It's just a little bit of a tilt. And as I do this, I'm stretching those muscles between my neck and shoulders, the trap muscles that get very tight. I'm trying to let both arms relax as I do this. So I'm getting the most out of it. And I might take one more. You got it. And then it could feel really good just to give your hands, rub your hands together for a moment, infuse your hands, a little bit of self-care. And I'm going to take my hands to a place on my body where I feel tense. There's no right answer for this one. For me, it's usually the upper neck. Maybe it's your lower back, right? Maybe it's your right leg, right? You never know where your body might need a little bit of healing touch, and you can bring that to yourself. All right, so getting a little more into the flow of cardio flow, I'm going to do some warm up of my upper body. So I'm going to stretch out my right arm, and you'll notice my arm is as straight as I can make it, but don't push through discomfort. I'm going to try to tilt my fingers back towards my face. So I'm getting a really big stretch in my wrist, and then I'm widening out my fingers as wide as I possibly can. That's great. And then I'll go ahead and make a fist around my thumb and drop those knuckles down as far as I can go. Beautiful. We're going to inhale, lift and spread. Exhale, tuck, knuckles down. One more like that. Breathing in. Breathing out. Very good. We're going to leave this arm lifted, palm up, and I'm going to tilt my left ear to my left shoulder. Relax that left shoulder and begin to circle that palm. So I'm circling the palm and breathing little by little. My arm moves downward. Little self-care circles. Taking really, really good care of myself today. Whatever that might mean for you. And then I'll take my arm behind my back, you got it? Or rest my hand on my hip, and I'm just going to very gently, easily tilt my head down a little bit towards my left shoulder and take a breath in. Sigh it out the mouth. I'm taking care of myself. All right, and then I'll invite you to come back and place both hands on your lap or by your sides and notice a difference between your right side and your left side. It's like I have an arm over here. I feel so much difference from just that one little thing. Let's try the other side. I want to even my energy up. I've got my arm out as straight as can be and lots of space between my fingers, tipping back towards my face. Taking a breath in, you got it. And then curling a fist around the thumb, dropping the knuckles down. Big breath in, arm lifting, spreading fingers. Exhaling, knuckles down. You got it. Last one. Are you breathing? Good, knuckles down. And then I'm going to leave my arm lifted. Tilt my right ear over towards my right shoulder. Relax that right shoulder and start to circle the palm. Little baby circles moving ever downward. So we're just exploring smaller movements to warm up to begin with. You've got it. Circling that palm all the way down and maybe placing the hand behind the back or on the hip. We'll spin the chin down. I'm peeking at my right shoulder and taking a couple of breaths. What can I let go of? All right, coming back and making sure that I have something to drink today. If I don't, I could run off and get it. If I do, I could take a nice hydrating drink of that. And I'm going to come to a little bit of a wider stance. So I'm still sitting. If you're standing, you can also come to a wider stance. And I'm just going to begin to circle my torso in one direction, circling my torso. So I'm doing this little bit of movement in a lot of places from head to toe. Kind of an easy thing to remember if you ever sit down and want to do something for yourself and you don't know what to do. Just think little bit of movement in a lot of places, head to toe. Now I'm going to move in the other direction, circling my torso, finding my breath. Right? If this doesn't feel right for me, I won't do it. That's very good. Very good. It could be the smallest movement ever, and that would be completely fine. Right? Just some torso circles. And then we're slowly coming back to center and going to move the side body. So I'll lift my right arm up and over, and I'm just going to stretch, extend those right fingers so I'm really opening up the right side body, and come on back. Switching sides, left arm lifts up and over. You've got it, beautiful. So all you missed was a couple torso circles and some side bends, Ruth. Go ahead and catch up with us and do what feels good to you, seated or standing. Really important that I stretch the sides of my body. Those little muscles between the ribs are responsible for 25% of your respiratory effort. So those of us who tend towards respiratory infections, this is a little trick for you to keep these muscles supple if you happen to find yourself coughing a lot. And of course, anytime we lift the arm above the collarbone, we are pumping the lymph fluid. One more on each side. Really feel like I needed some side bending today. Moving the spine in all directions is another one of our goals during any of our movement classes. So I'm going to bring my arms out to the sides like a cactus, or however feels best. You could just keep the hands on the hips. And I'm going to twist my torso to the right, just a little bit. Come to center with a breath in. Exhale, little tiny twist to the left. Breathing into center. Exhaling, twist right. It doesn't have to be a big movement to derive benefit. Right? Keeping your focus and your awareness on the breath and the movement at the same time kind of puts it into a whole other category of mind-body movement. We can take one more on each side, or if you're done, you're done. And this could also help sort of stimulate the digestive system here, doing these little twists. I'm going to come back to center and give myself a hug. Notice which arm I more naturally put on the top side of things. Tuck your chin and take a breath, sigh it out the mouth. Good. And then let's go ahead and come back to that cactus shape again. And in my cactus shape, I'm going to start to flick the imaginary water off the ends of my fingertips. So I'm moving my fingers slowly, and then maybe a little more quickly. So taking care of my hands, those of us with osteoarthritis, peripheral neuropathy. And then I'm going to go as fast as I possibly can. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Give yourself another hug, opposite arm on top. I'm taking care of myself today, whatever that means for you. Big breath. Sigh it out. Good. And then if it feels good to you, you can come back to that cactus shape, and we're going to be swishing the wrists. It could be a nice sort of lazy swish at first. Then you might want to retain a little more control and get a little faster. And maybe you wish for something to be gone. You can wish for something to be gone with this motion. Maybe you're looking to detox a chemical out of your system. Be gone. You can go as fast as you possibly can. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're going in for that third hug. Doesn't matter which arm is on top. I'm taking a big breath and tucking my chin, giving myself some pats on the back for showing up today. Good job, you. All right. Then I'll go ahead and take hold of my chair if I'm sitting in one, and just walk the feet back and walk the feet out again. So I'm juicing up the hips a little bit here, and I'm turning on my core muscles. Breathing as I do this and just noticing the warmth in my upper body from all of that beautiful movement. Finding a few easy breaths. You can go at your own pace. Good. The next time you step in, leave the feet on the inside, and we're going to stretch out that right leg. I'm going to keep my heel on the earth, right? So I'll just slide to the side so you can see my foot. My heel is on the earth, and I'm going to pump my right foot down. See if I could touch my right toes to the earth. Maybe, maybe not. And lift those toes up and back towards the face. So I'm doing these foot pumps. So many good things happening here, not only on a muscular level, just sort of stretching on a joint level, getting the joints lubricated, and supporting all of that structural system that helps with my balance. And if I experience peripheral neuropathy in my lower limbs, I'm supporting this part of my body and doing whatever I can do to keep it healthy, which can help us manage the symptoms of peripheral neuropathy. All right, so that was about, I don't know, for me about 10 foot pumps, I think. I'm going to go ahead and switch sides. Left leg out, heel on the earth, and I'm seeing if I could touch my left toes to the earth, maybe, maybe not. And then I'm pointing them back towards my face. And just noticing, how does it feel on this side? Could feel different. Still breathing. Simple movement. You can do this on an airplane. I found myself doing this on the plane to Montana, doing my foot pumps to keep my blood circulating. You know, because you're just sitting there for a long time, and it's agonizing for me to sit for a long period of time. So I thought of you all while I was doing my foot pumps. And then we can go ahead and come back. And let's just lift that right leg all the way up, place it back down, lift the left leg all the way up, place it back down. Little bit of movement in a lot of places. I feel like I have gotten my sort of head to toe warm up. And so this will be the point at which you can decide, do I want to stand up and do some standing movements today, or do I want to stay seated? So I'm going to take a moment and take those transitioning breaths. So before I get up out of any chair, I'm inwardly telling myself, there is no hurry. I'm in no hurry whatsoever to stand if that's my choice. And I think because I'm leading the class, it probably would be a good idea if I stood up today. But feel free to stay seated, mindfully transitioning to a standing posture. Maybe you want to take that little sip of water or whatever you have for liquid. And then we're going to start to do some whole body movements. Whole body movements, just marching in place. Marching in place and getting your whole body moving. Maybe you can notice your arms here for a moment and see if you're swinging opposite arm, opposite leg. And if you're not, can you change it to that? And it starts to get very confusing sometimes with this. So I'm going to stop for a moment and see what it feels like to do same leg, same arm. And for me, this just feels so bizarre and so strange after all these years of opposite arm, opposite leg. And I don't know about you, but I feel much more sort of tippy and like not quite as grounded and centered and in control of my balance. So I'm going to go back to opposite arm, opposite leg. And I can feel that the core of me is staying pretty level. Breathing as I do this, just getting the whole body moving. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful job, guys. I'm holding on to my chair. Good, we're getting warmed up here. I'm seeing some of you take off a layer. Feeling good over here too. Feel my whole body is ready to do a little more. Let's go ahead and see what it would feel like to come up onto your tiptoes and float back down. And I am pushing from my big toes here. All of that beautiful structure underneath my big toes, helping me push up and helping me land gently. So you might have to hold on to the chair. Maybe you'd like to try taking one or both hands up, lifting the arm or arms up and floating your way back down. Right? So we're inhaling and exhaling. Beautiful. Maybe the arms come up as high as you would like. Breathing in, breathing out. You've got it. And if you find your edge, gold stars rain down upon you, my friend. This is where we make our gains. We make our improvements. If we fall out of a balance challenge, finding the edge is absolutely integral to that improvement. Let's do 2 more. All right, now I'm going to sit down in my imaginary chair. So I'm bending my knees. If you've got issues in your knees today, you might not want to bend as deeply. I'm going to bring my hips back a little bit, like I have a tail, and I'm wagging it. I'm just going to wag my tail for a moment because I want to make sure I'm having fun, that I'm not taking myself too seriously. Beautiful. And then I'll come back down into my chair here, and I'm going to pull my belly towards my spine, so I'm using my core muscles. And if you feel safe, you can bring the arms back behind you. I'm going to inhale and swoop my arms up, straighten my legs. Exhale, sink back down. Remember, weight is back. Breathing in, lifting up. You got it. Breathing out, sinking down, arms back. Squeeze those shoulder blades. Inhaling. You got it. And exhaling. Maybe you want to do this next one with a little bit of arching of the back, lifting that heart. You got it, Anne. Beautiful. And then we're coming down, and we'll do one more chair pulse. Good. And we're coming back up nice and slow. And I'm going to go ahead and get ready to do a little bit more upper body movement. Right? So I have a little bit of a wider stance. And I'm just going to be reaching and grabbing, reaching and grabbing, reaching and grabbing, reaching and grabbing. Maybe I'm picking some juicy peaches off a tree or apples, placing them into my basket. Reaching and grabbing, reaching and grabbing. Maybe there's a little bit of a soft bend to my knees as I do this. And maybe I want to go a little faster. And maybe I just keep my gaze straight ahead, right? Or softly focusing. Whatever feels good. Reaching and grabbing, reaching and grabbing. Apples, peaches, whatever it is you need. All right, and then I'm going to get ready to throw it away. I'm tossing it to you. Can you catch those apples? Can you catch those peaches? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, bring those arms down and relax the shoulders up, back, and down a few times. Breathing. You got it. All right. Okay, so I'm going to take that wider stance again, and I'm just going to be moving from side to side and stepping one foot back behind the other. So it's just kind of like a little loose, almost a dance step really. But oh yeah, if you want to get the arms involved, I like that, Marty, that's really nice. So I'm stepping from side to side, right? You can hold onto the chair if you need this. It's a little bit of a balance challenge. If I were to slow this down, it really would be a little bit more of a challenge. One leg is simply stepping back behind the other. The arms are doing whatever feels good. Maybe we'll do one more on each side. Thank you very much. I'm going to take that wide stance. I'm going to place my hands on my chair or my legs. And I'm going to take a little mini forward fold here without rounding my back. Right, so that might mean I kind of push my heart forward a little bit, keep my chin tucked. Big breaths here. I can feel the backs of my legs stretching. And then we're slowly coming up, bringing the feet back. I'm going to walk in place again. Marching in place again, taking a little walk with you. Maybe you want to imagine your favorite place to walk. And I tell you, we had some amazing hikes in Montana. We were singing and shouting the whole way to scare away the bears. And we got into some really fun, took out some really fun songs like Day-O, Day-O, daylight come and me one go home. So yeah, just want to keep yourself smiling, moving. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Coming into a stretch for my hip flexors. I'm going to step my right foot forward and bring my left foot back a little bit at an angle. My hips are still pointing here towards my chair. And I'm going to bend into this right knee. So I'm getting a nice stretch in my left hip, and I might also squeeze that left glute muscle. So some options here with my torso nice and upright. I might just lift my left arm up and over and see if I can accentuate the stretch in my left hip by doing this. Always an option just to keep the hand on the hip. And you might not feel like bringing your arm all the way up and over, and that's totally fine. You've got it. Run one more swoop of that arm, and then we're going to go ahead and shorten our stance a little bit. I still have my right foot forward. Now both legs are straight. And I'm going to engage my legs by lifting my kneecaps. So the fronts of my legs are working as I stretch the back of my legs by folding forward, keeping that flat back, tucking my chin, right? So I'm not leading with my chin. You got it. I've got my forearms on the back of my chair, or maybe my fingertips on the seat. You could always do this another way that feels better for you. Can't tell you what that is. You got it, Joyce. Beautiful. Feeling that stretch in the back of the legs. Can you take one more breath here? Oh yeah, I forgot to breathe. All right, walking ourselves up. We can step the left foot forward. Bring the right foot back at a little bit of an angle. And we're bending into the left knee. And can you feel the stretch in your right hip here? That right hip flexor can get really tight when we're in stressful circumstances or stay seated a lot. I'm going to squeeze that right glute muscle and swoop my right arm up and back a few times. Just doing what feels best for me. You've got it. Very nice. Finding the breath. You got it, Gordon. This will be good for your golf game. Nice. And then we'll go ahead and shorten the stance. Engage those legs by lifting the kneecaps. And I'm taking a bow with my chin tucked. And again, I'm avoiding rounding the back here. Lots of us caring for osteoporosis, so we want to avoid aggressively rounding the back. Tucking my chin, so I've got a nice long back of the neck. And I'm just exploring the stretch in my left leg, finding the breath. And then we can walk ourselves up, nice and slow. Take that sip of water if you need it. We will be meeting in a wide stance. Meeting in a wide stance with the legs a little bit farther apart. With my legs a little bit farther apart, I'm going to get back into some side bending. As I lift my right arm up and over, I'm going to let my left arm swing and dangle and feel that space in my left shoulder. Really feel that space. Good. And then that left arm is coming up and over. And we're going to let the right shoulder relax and swing a little bit even. You got it. Legs are strong, right arm reaching, left arm loose, left arm lifting, right arm relaxed. And taking one more on each side at your own pace. Good, and then I'm coming back. And I'm going to point my toes out a little bit to the sides. So I'm in this sort of Charlie Chaplin stance. And I'm going to bend my knees, but just a little bit. And again, caring for knee issues, you might decide to keep the toes pointed forward instead. I'm going to sit down a little bit in this stance and feel the strength in my legs, in my glute muscles, and in my core. So I'm tipping my belly back a little bit, integrating the core. If I felt safe doing so, I could lift one or both arms out to the sides like a cactus. And then I'm going to inhale and straighten everything. So I'm in the shape of a star. And then as I exhale, I'm coming back down into that very strong shape, arms and legs bent. Breathing in, stretching, reaching for the stars. Breathing out, sinking down strong through the core. You've got it. Taking a few more of these at your own pace. Really feeling my legs work here. Now, if you wanted to, you could reach up over to the left side as you straighten. Come back down. Inhale, reaching up over to the right side, straightening. Coming down. Taking one more on each side. Everything's strong. Right? Maybe it's just the legs working. Last one. Okay, and we're going to stay here, unless you're feeling discomfort or pain, we're going to stay here, really working those muscles in the thighs, in the glutes. I'm pulling my core, and I'm creating bicep muscles with my arms. My arms are even working. Everything is really strong for one more big breath. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and walk it out. Great job. I can really feel that one. Walking it out. Maybe you've got a song you want to sing. Nobody can hear you. You can sing it, except for people in your house, of course. Walking it out. I know there are a lot of songs over at Betty Ann's house with her husband, the singer and musician. All right. Little bit of a stretch here. I'm going to take my hands onto my chair or my counter or my wall. Walk my feet back. I could keep my head lifted if I have glaucoma or vertigo. I'm looking for a stretch to the back of my legs, but I'm going to engage the front of my legs by lifting the kneecaps. And that is a nice active way to stretch. Keep your hamstrings safe if you happen to overstretch them, which a lot of folks do in the yoga world. And then we're coming back up. And we're going to close out our standing portion with a little bit of balance work. If you're feeling tired, if you need to sit and relax, now would be a good time to start that transition. Otherwise, I'm going to start to march in place with my legs and lift both arms. Right? If you need to stay with one hand on a chair, that's completely fine. So I'm lifting both arms and one leg. You can feel those hip flexors that we stretched are working to lift. And as I slow this down, I'm working a little harder, slowing it down and staying balanced on one leg. It's almost like a trick to get you to be balancing on one leg. And I find a lot of people really find this entry into balance easier than if I were to just say, okay, stand on one leg. Because there's some movement, there's some work your body's already doing to calibrate. All right, one more on each side. This time I'm just going to hold as long as I can till I fall out of it. And I might switch sides, hold a little while, fall out of it. And I'm just going to relaxedly swish my arms in front, scissor my arms in front, switch which arm is on top. And then we will do our flamingo pose, standing on one leg. Lots of you tell me that you do this every day and that you're doing it during these transition times while you're waiting for the coffee to brew or you're on the phone with Verizon, like I was today, standing on one leg. So little bendy bounce. I've got my hand holding onto my chair to start. I'm going to pour my weight over to the right foot. And I could pick up my left leg as far as I like. I could take it completely off the ground. I could keep my toe on the earth. Don't forget about those glute muscles in the right leg and the core muscles. And then I'm working on finding my edge. I might find it right away, and that's completely fine. Still getting lots of gold stars for finding my edge. And if I'm like, oh, this is so easy, I could do this with my eyes closed. Well, do it with your eyes closed and then get back to me and tell me how it feels. Doing it with the eyes closed immediately changes everything for me. And that's where I can find my edge, right? So I want to find my edge. And when you feel like that side needs a break, you can kick out that right leg, right? Taking care of the knee. And we'll take a soft little bendy bounce, hand on the chair, weight in the left foot. Picking up that right leg as far as you like, all the way up, or maybe you want to keep the toe on the ground. And maybe we don't have to travel very far before we find our edge on the left side. Just noticing without judgment, where's my edge? And when you find your edge, you can just say, hello there, old friend. It is so nice to see you. Thank you for helping me get better balance. Maybe that's closing the eyes or one eye. Good. And then we're going to kick it out, snap it out, both legs. Let me hear your snaps. Can you snap it? Snap it, snap it, snap it. Snapping is hard. All right, rub those hands together. Interlace those fingers, press the palms away. One last time, we're going to lift the arms up. Nice wide stance, side bending. Done a lot of side bending in this class. Strong through the legs. Very good. And when you're ready, you can take that sip of water and come on and join me in a seated posture. Coming to a seated posture, we'll take 1 or 2 more little stretches and then we'll call it a day. So as I come to sit slowly, carefully, in no hurry, I can notice my energy levels and how I'm feeling and give myself a pat on the back for doing our class today. I'm going to take my right ankle over my left knee, if this would feel okay for you. While I'm here, I might like to massage or tap the bottom of my right foot. Tapping, something that our Tai Chi master taught us, Tai Chi and Qigong master Rami, and we will be having a Tai Chi class this Tuesday. So I'm really looking forward to where Rami's going to take us. We have 2 more sessions with him, June and July. Learned a lot from him so far. All right, now I'm going to take a hold of my shin or my knee, wherever's available, and just lean forward a little bit until I feel the amount of sensation, stretching sensation in my right hip I want to feel. And I can notice if my shoulders are working extra hard to stay lifted, I might let them relax. Feeling this nice stretch, something our bodies probably really need more than we give it. Coming up to sit, cross the knee over, and you can take a breath in here, and as you exhale, use those core muscles to twist to the right. I'm going to stay in my twist here for a couple of breaths. Stimulating the digestive system, getting the juices flowing in my spine. And slowly, gently coming back to center, crossing that left ankle over the right, or making some modifications if this doesn't feel right. Taking a moment to care for that left foot or that left shin, whatever is available. Maybe it's massage, maybe it's tapping. Especially good for those of us caring for peripheral neuropathy in the feet or lower limbs. Something that we haven't actually seen the research on that. I'm keeping my eyes open for that, but it just does make sense to me. So let's go ahead and move into our hip stretch. Leaning forward, softening my shoulders, taking a couple of easy breaths. And then we can come out of it when you're ready, crossing the knee over, taking that breath in, getting a little taller, exhaling to the left, core muscles working. And then as we come back to center, all that blood moving back into the organs, nice and fresh. I could take one more stretch. And then I will give myself one more hug for doing such a great job today in our cardio flow class. And I could even close my eyes and imagine those gold stars raining down on me. And letting that go. You could close your practice today with 3 more breaths. So nice, easy breathing in through the nose, out through the nose or mouth. And just noticing your state of being compared to the beginning of our class. And I hope that you can take this hopefully calm, energized state of being with you into the rest of your day or evening. And I hope to see you again really soon. Take excellent care.